Janet, you need one?
No, I have one. I think.
Dan? Mr. Pillar? Yeah.
Okay, where was?
Good morning, everyone. Let's start our July 6th meeting for Public Works, Transportation, Public Facilities. Attendance wise and Central Department. Janet Wynn, Cody, Lennon, Ray Smith, Seth Goldstein, Kevin Parsons, and Matt Yell. How'd I do? Pretty good, huh? All right, good. All right, the minutes from the last meeting got emailed out, so we need a motion to accept the minutes from our last meeting.
Motion.
Motion, I need a second, please.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, none opposed, so that's the the minutes are approved for both halves of the meeting from last month. Now we will start with Transportation, Public Facility, Ray Smith.
Nice and simple today. So number two, the highway crews, the normal, they're out trimming trees upon resident request, patching holes, and some small drainage projects here and there. Just the normal stuff day to day that comes in from our residents, calling on a basin, whatever, so. Personnel, we have 2 vacancies. I know last month I reported we were full.
Right.
We had two employees, find better opportunities.
Is
You know.
Parks or Highway both?
One was a highway employee, one was a parks employee. So, the market's still good out there and they're young guys and, we wish them the best and, they were offered a better opportunity, long-time career, more money. So, we can't fault them there.
Was it another municipality or?
No.
No,
No.
private sector?
Both were private, I believe. So we'll be advertising and looking for a couple more employees. Parks crews, just this time of year, not a lot of bells and whistles, just staying steady, even keel, trying to maintain parks, keep them mowed. The rec programs are out there now, so we alter the schedules a little bit, so we pack the kids, but yeah.
And how's that going?
Yeah, that's just every
Fielding too many complaints?
year thing. No, we've been pretty good. And these guys, the kind of people that are on the bike path in huge numbers, so these guys will address anything that we get a call or, a fence down or a limb down. So that's what these guys do. And right now, being a couple down, it affects our ability to be everywhere at once. So we'll be actively looking to get them positions filled.
Did they give you 2 weeks notice? Or
Yes, they did. Everybody did, and very professional about it. And
That's good.
so. Number 5, yard waste. The trucks are on schedule, picking up in every zone every week. On a holiday week, everything gets bumped a day, like this week. So we were out Monday because we work Monday, and then so we'll be picking up zone 4 on Friday. That's how that works. And again, if you got any questions, check the website for the rules and regulations as far as what is picked up and when. And number 6, truck lift. At the last town board meeting, the board approved the replacement of the truck lift in the garage. So that has been ordered. We're looking 60 to 72 days before that becomes in service. I'll keep you updated on that.
Before you actually get it or before you?
We're hoping before because it came with an install through the contract, so
Mhm.
they're looking 60 to 72 days, so. For 7, paving, the crews are working on the first round. They're actually paving today in the Orchard Park area. Tomorrow, Orchard Park, Alexis. So we're hoping 3 days of paving. Up there, we'll get everything done. Weather will definitely impact them, being that it's gonna be in the 90s and pop-up showers. So when there's pop-up showers, we don't pave because it doesn't let the asphalt adhere to the base coat.
Yeah,
So,
because if you get one of those on the new blacktop, it cools it too quickly, right?
and it also creates a moisture between the two surfaces that need to bind together, so. But they are up there. A lot of work has gone into that from all departments in that, from raising manholes and like I've stressed before, when we pave a road, the infrastructure's been checked, the pipes have been cleaned, the valves have been replaced, hydrants have been checked, so you get 100% new road when we're done. So a lot goes into that.
Speaking of paving, what, Union Street in the state, are they finished with that project up there or?
I didn't get an update on that. I haven't seen any activity. I know it's been striped. I don't know. Matt probably would know better because he has to address the manholes. We really don't have much to do with.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much finished up with all the work. They had a couple, we had to do some work in the intersection of Balltown and Union Street because they had hit one of our valve boxes, and DOT was good enough to have their contractor set up a work zone for us to do the work. So I think overall, most of that work's done.
So they are moving, the other half of the crew is over in the Oakmont section, prepping for the next round. And that's been going on for the last couple of weeks, opening up basins. There's hundreds of basins and probably as many manholes that are air hammered up and raised. So a lot of work. Number 8, disc golf and low mow. Disc golf has been mowed a few weeks ago. And the low mow initiative, we did shrink the disc golf down a little bit more this year. Last year was our pilot, so we were able to create a little bit smaller pathways, still keep our drainage ditches mowed. So I think that's going well. I know Mr. Thornton's been out there, took one of the staff members, Andrew from Parks, on a little tour looking at some invasive species of weeds.
Right, tell us about that.
Do you want to wait till the last item?
No, you're in here.
Okay. First of all, thank you for what you do. It's really great to see my yard waste disappear. The good news is that I've seen bottlenecks out on the landfill this year. Seen earlier and then just occasionally one that was quiet during the nesting period. I have no idea how many. The Hudson Mohawk Bird Club has been asked if they would survey bird life on the landfill, but no response so far. The banding of birds has gone pretty well this summer. I'll bring up the name of Bob Unick, who's a member of the town. He's in his mid-80s and slowing down, and hopefully he will be here for a while longer. So it's getting tougher for him, but quite a number of birds have been banded. I think somewhere in the range of 30 tree swallows and 15 birds. It's hard to tell because I just haven't sat and added up the numbers. Also trying to discourage the English sparrows. They are actually killers of little birds and tree swallows. They will go into a nest and peck the brains out of a bird that's on the nest. I've found 2 or 3 of those in touring the bird boxes.
How do you deter them?
Throw their nests out, even if there's eggs in it. Leave the ones with young.
Put up a sign, Bill, you know.
Yeah, we tried. Oh, well, that worked, right?
The little shelter that's on the ramp starting down the hill by the rail fence.
Mhm.
That had 4 corners in it, which were ideal English sparrow nests. And I've started stuffing those holes with balled up plastic, and that seems to have discouraged them this year. So, guess I mentioned that Bob is out there right now, handling a few birds. That's the good news, and then troubling news, at least to me. And that is the invasive species that seem to be increasing, not only at Blatnick Park, but around the town. I think step 1 has to be awareness, and that was what I was doing out there with Ellen and Andy. It surprised me a little that they didn't recognize a lot of the plants. I'm an amateur at this. I'm not a botanist by any stretch, ex-chemical engineer. But I've learned quite a number of them. The awareness of the issue, I think, would best be spread not only to the town officers, but to the town at large. I'm not sure how to go about that, but it will be something on the Muskegon website or maybe articles in the newsletter and the Muskegon Today or whatever that magazine is called. And maybe even direct mailings, but the more homeowners are aware of this, the more can be done. This is a chunk of vine that I took out of a neighbor's tree that was strangling the tree. There was also, it's been there a long time, and that was a neighbor 2 doors down. The neighbor 1 door down had done a lot in the past few years to cut some of these vines, but he missed this one. There were also a lot of sprouts. This stem stuff sprouts from the roots. So if you cut the stem and don't do anything else, the roots go away from the stem sprout. Unfortunately, there are no predators for that plant, insects or diseases or otherwise.
What type
So,
of vine is that?
Pardon?
What type of vine?
well, it's Bibsby. It's in that handout. There's some
It's the Asian bittersweet.
Asian bittersweet. Yeah. There's a native, but it's becoming very rare. So everything you see around town is 99.9% medium invasive. Anyway, just a brief aside, did you address that wild parsnip?
Not yet. I did make Andrew aware of it, and when, like I say, we're down some people, so we're struggling right now, but we did. I did make him aware of your email and your pictures.
So you gotta go out with gloves to get that kind of stuff. And it's setting seeds, so the sooner the better. The head is already in seed. That's about it. There are some other species that I have not included in that. There's a teasel, wild teasel. It's the one that's used in, it's got a burr-like head on it, stands about this tall.
Like a thistle, almost like a
Almost.
ball with points on it. I've
Right.
seen them.
Forests like to use it. It's probably more of a nuisance. Multiflora rose, of course, birds spread it and it's coming into the low mow areas. Whether it's best addressed by spot mowing or spot mowing and roadside, I don't know. I talked to Nick Clemzip at the Soil and Water Conservation District. He pointed out that anybody that applies herbicides needs to be trained and licensed.
Yeah, we hired that out now because of the liability. Years ago, we had license. Actually, I was licensed
Mhm.
and I let my license expire. Liability is huge.
I imagine.
Because we typically like that, it wouldn't be so bad, but you know, we occasionally do our athletic fields or public areas, and it was deemed that let the professionals do it. And, you know, to be safe for everybody. So that was some years ago that we switched over. And there's so many new products that, you know, it's, you pretty much gotta be a scientist to figure it out.
And there's also timing issues.
Right.
I cut this and the sap just welled out of it, which means that even though I coated the end of the cut with an herbicide, it probably won't do anything.
That's a pretty large vine, so it'll take quite a bit to knock that out.
Right, and the same with the big vines there. Ellen is very interested in getting something started, and if I was to pinpoint that something, it would be to go through that copse of woods near the dog park and cut those vines off, because they're in the process of producing tons and tons of seed that the birds will spread. They are also strangling trees in that little bunch of woods.
I think our agreement in this whole thing pretty much was a pilot program. You're educating us. Our thing down there was always just mow back to the wood line to keep the wood line from creeping in. I've talked to Beth, our controller, a few times. About a different style mower. That's a money thing. That's we currently have, they call it finish mower. It's a 3-deck, 14-foot. You're able to mow thin grass and maintain it at 3 to 4 inches.
Understand,
As the stuff that we didn't mow for the low mow areas, now in the fall, when it comes time where it should be mowed, which would help keep the invasive species down because it would be fully maintained after the birds move out. So that requires a different type of mower. And I think that was your recommendation in the beginning, to speak to the county of different, heights of mowing and stuff like that. So,
whether they had equipment for rent or for loan, I don't know whether they do or not.
we have a rough area and it definitely takes its toll on the equipment. You don't really want to borrow something from somebody and just destroy it.
Yeah.
So, but I have been looking at a couple options. I've been talking with Beth, ours is more of a, let's say a lawnmower on steroids. It has it's massive. I mean, it cuts 14 feet wide, but it has lawnmower blades on it. Which we go through belts almost every time we go out, and $300, $400 a belt every time you go out is a costly thing. So we looked at a gear drive. It's essentially a rotary tri-deck mower that we will be able to do the low mow in the fall in volume, and we'll be able to maintain the short mode stuff for disc golf and that in the summer. It'll still give us, we can adjust it
Mhm.
So we can still accomplish the same thing with one mower rather than just buy another one outright. So I've been working with the comptroller on that.
Mhm. The edge issue is one of which is also problematic for you, I imagine, because the sumac keeps marching out.
And we have to be careful with our glass on our equipment, and so that's why periodically in the winter, when it's feasible, we can go cut some edges back and stuff like that, but you know, prime time like now, it's a struggle for us to even keep up with what we have. We're learning from you and no,
Possibly we can get some sort of, on a website, a link to this information about invasive species, right? That's your point about educating people.
Yes, and it might be multi-pronged.
Yeah. Probably even have some fire. It's, you talk about herbicides and stuff, and we're trying to get away from using chemicals, right? Especially, in the town, and other town properties, and that sort of thing, so. That's why, as Ray said, just hire that out if there's an evil.
and we've scaled way back.
There's more than one there issue, because not only do you have it parked on private property on this building, but along the roadsides, and you've got three different authorities for the roadsides. And I don't know if you go Small Town Road towards the Mohawk Mall, on the right-hand side, you've got a huge patch of Japanese knotweed.
Where it borders the golf course, right? Yeah. The ditches, yeah.
These the Asian bittersweet. Anyway, I've probably taken enough of your time, unless you've got another question.
I don't think so, but I think we should work on having a link put together with the information.
Okay.
Right?
And I obviously can help with that.
Thank you for coming, we appreciate everything you've done doing and continue to do,
Thank you for listening.
bringing it to everybody's attention.
Good to see you.
See you. Bye now.
Thank you.
Take care, Roy. You too.
Number 9, sweeper. The sweeper has made it through the town. For one round, you will see it back out because it is working with the pavers to try to, as we work in the developments, we try to get over there and sweep it at least once a week to keep the dust down for the residents. Keep impact low, so. You will see them out in probably another month, we'll probably start over again, so. Number 10, open discussion, if anybody has anything to discuss about those along with us.
Anything additional?
See no taker, I'm liking it.
Okay.
You got anything? Perfect. No resolutions this month. Unless I get an, unless I get an employee that I need to have walk through that door.
Tentative.
I'll leave that open.
Go ahead.
I forget every month. The review of the minutes, was that?
Yes, we did do that
Combine them
as
now, so-
one.
Okay,
Yep.
Right.
Thank you.
thank you, Kathy, for getting all that for us. Attorney's items, we just have 2 fence easement agreements, both, fences within drainage easements, so Nick in our office has worked, he's got the plans, we'll share them with Ray, we'll just make sure that everything is what they're proposing does not impede any, access to town, maintenance activities in the easement there. One's on, Ranch Trail and the other one's on Island Court. I put that on there, Elena wrote
Should
this
be
week.
ready for this meeting. The union is scheduled to vote on its lot is 11th.
we should have it, I think by then, and know to.
Thank you. And the next item, so two outside sewer user agreements that need to have voted on by the town. One's at 852 Pierce Road, and the other one's at 2651 Aqueduct Road. The existing, one's a new home, and one on Pierce Road is a new home. Right adjacent to the town sewer. It's a short distance to tie into the manhole in the front. And 2651 is an existing home on Aqueduct Road. That's going to take advantage of the line that Rivers Ledge installed. So
How many have done that?
none.
None, this
This
is the first one.
Were interested,
Yeah.
but they were ended up calling us to say that they.
Yeah, I think the presence of rock there, it really jacks the price up. So people say they're interested, they start making calls to contractors and they get a price and they realize they'll make their septic system work. This is one, I think, where he's weighed the two options and the property owner wants to go ahead with the connection to the town sewer.
So while you're on that, Rivers Ledge did that line along Aqueduct Road. Is that part of the job complete?
The water line worked.
The grading and recovery of the work that was done?
We've had a couple areas where we've had them come back and do some.
The front of the rec center, if you could look at it,
Okay,
is essentially unmowable from the sign.
that's,
To the
well,
road.
yeah, we'll make sure.
It's,
There was one private property that they had to come back as well and re-landscape. it because they
if
left
you
all the
could
rocks.
just look at that, I don't know. The statutes run out or whatever,
No,
no, we
no.
can't mow down
No,
and make that nice anymore, because it's too rough.
Well, I'll look for that.
Getting back to the, getting people tied onto the sewer system. I know a friend of mine is up in that Boston Lake area where they put the sewers in up there. I think there is some grant money and stuff for lower income people to get at least up there tied in. I don't know if they would be able to do that or not.
We can look, it all depends on the area and it's certain criteria that the state looks at.
Right. Well, I think this was based on income anyway, and up there it's they're using force, they've got the E1 funds for the residents.
And that's
And
both of
getting them
these,
started.
both of these connections would be portions that,
Okay. Should probably kind of look into that to see, at least to point homeowners to sort of, if we can find out that information in that direction, so there may be funds available.
absolutely. Number 3, water and sewer billing. The first quarter corporate reconciliation, should be done, but prior to the finance committee meeting. Once we get that information, Kathy will review the numbers as well. If everything looks good, we'll move forward with the resolution, only if everything looks good. And then, the spring residential and commercial utility reconciliation is complete and has been checked and we're ready to go with that one. So, B is a definite, A is tentative, but, we're gonna push to make that happen, just to get it out of the way. So it doesn't hang on for another, month. 4, water and sewer maintenance, I put out a request for proposals to engineers for the design and survey work associated with replacing the water main on River Road. Ultimately, we'd like to go from GE Circle all the way to Linwood Drive. I don't think it's feasible to do that. You can, with the state of the industry right now and the money that's available. So we're looking to at least do from the circle to Blackmore Park. It'd be the first half of it, and then look to do the second half at a later time. First step is to do the engineering work, so we'll be getting proposals back by the 14th of July. I'll review them with Dan, and we'll make a recommendation for what a contract for design and survey in July. And we're also working for chance to get some grant money to do this work as well, for the construction phase.
Okay.
We do have some money.
From the county on that at all?
They know of it.
To keep them in the loop for their paving schedule and what may be their future paving schedule.
Yeah, they plan on paving regardless this fall, or this summer. The good news is the majority of this work will be off the road. In their next paving.
I know how you like to dig new roads.
Well, by the time the design work is done, we pushed them off a couple of years ago,
This is water main.
the water main one. Yeah, so most likely the work will be done for next.
It seems like we have more problem further down, yes?
We have, that entire line has issues. We've had quite a few breaks in that area. There's that dip that runs between GE and Capel. There's a fire hydrant right there. There's a dip there in the road. That's a prone area. And then up closer to GE as well. And the problem is when that line breaks, not only is there an impact on the user, but there's also huge traffic impact. Because the size of the crew necessary to do that work, we had to flag it, you had to light it, and because it never happens during the day, it seems at night.
Heavily traveled road.
Yes, so,
What size is that main?
it's a 12 inch, we're looking to possibly upsize it. Possibly 16 one more, based on, anticipated demand on that line. Let's see, B, the Shannon Boulevard Mohawk Road water main job that has been in construction probably almost going in the third year because we went back out and awarded the second phase of that work. The engineering contract was all the same contract. They're running out of money in their, the approved amounts. We had some slowdowns because of Verizon and some of the issues we had there. We added a drain to one of our air relief vaults. So we're looking at most likely about a $2,500 change order on the contract. So we need to get board approval on that. I asked them to give me a realistic number. They said 2,500. I want to make sure that covers everything that they anticipate. The job's almost completely done anyway, but I don't want to have to come back and do another change order. So it may be anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000. I'll definitely know before finance what the exact amount is. C is a resolution to amend resolution 2023-47. That was my fault. We did a purchase of a dump truck resolution. Somehow the numbers got there's a mistake on the numbers. Instead of $203,000 is what we had on the resolution. The cost was $203,028, so 289 under what the cost is. So we have to amend the resolution to cover that cost. I missed it. I was just a with a typo on my part.
Clerical.
Yes. But just to make sure, to keep everything legit, I want to do the change there. D is a resolution to purchase replacement pumps for the Letchville sewer pump station. That's a pump station that's over off of Letchville Road. It serves a couple neighborhoods. Like everywhere else, we're having issues with wipes, flushable wipes that don't belong in the sewer. And the pumps are older, but they're causing quite a few issues over there as far as plugging pumps, quite a bit of overtime. And rather than replace it, we want to upsize them slightly to a better design. The cost is $17,706.
Can we get another public service announcement about that?
I will, yeah.
Just have to keep educating the residents, right?
Yeah, we've got hang tags and everything. COVID is what really sent everyone over the edge. Everyone started using, but flushable wipes, they're not flushable, even though what the package says. And I love it. It says plumbers approved. Of course, plumbers approved. They're the ones that be called when it's flushed.
The pipes get plugged up.
So that is I have a sole source letter from the fire as well on those amendments. And we do have money budgeted for pump station upgrade and repair. E is a tentative resolution for the purchase of pickup trucks. We keep working with this company out in Robert Green, out in the western part of the state. They have the Onondaga County bid. We're stuck in between the year changeover and we're waiting for the new pricing to be available for the new model year. It was promised me 2.5 weeks ago. We still don't have it. So I'll keep on them. With the intent is once we have the numbers, we go ahead and do the resolution because we seriously need to replace 22 trucks in a fleet. The pickup trucks with a service dog on the back. F, I just want to update a little bit on the utility mapping work we've been doing. Dan and Nick and the engineering office have been working with the water and sewer maintenance crews, utilizing the GPS equipment that we purchased last year to remap all of our water lines, update all of our sewer information. We're moving, it's an ongoing process. One of the biggest changes we've had lately is we've been working with Schenectady County planning, and we've added all this information onto their website. And now using remote cell phones and tablets, we can access our mapping and also maps and scan drawings from all of our documentation we have here at Town Hall. That's available now out in the field, and we're using the county's website as a backbone. They don't really see any. We're just redirecting to Incept. Actually, it's been very helpful as well. Using our Google Drive and the county website to get that information out without any additional costs to the town. We pay the county anyway for the annual contract with SIMS, which is the mapping system. It's just been something we've been trying to do for a very long time, and I know it's going to be an ongoing process, but I just want to acknowledge all the hard work.
The key to making this work was the change that we made from our standard servers down here to ones that are the Google Drive server that's on the cloud. And we made that change last year, all around with the Google format. But basically we can access all of this information from out in the field now. Our servers where we're saving all these, we've got all the subdivisions for the last 40, 50 years saved on the system. And so out in the field within a minute, we can get record drawings of, Avon Crest, phase 2, sewer and water plants, which is going to be excellent.
Yeah,
Run back here.
that's it. In
get
the past,
drawings
you get a
and
call
get
from
the
someone out in the
information.
field. Yeah.
And we're gonna start working on an internal database to provide even more information on maintenance records and stuff like that. To link everything together, so when they're out in the field, they can file a work order, they can do all their stuff on, on a tablet, and all the records would be digital as opposed to stacks of paper.
Great.
And we're kind of right in the middle of getting this rolled out. It's working right now. And so we're just gonna work out any bugs that we come across. And at that point, Ray, maybe we'll get together with you and the planning department and show you how we're using this out in the field. Because all that information, it can be accessed by anyone with a cellular connection, data connection, with a tablet out in the field. All the storm drainage,
Technology.
all the storm drainage maps.
Does that work with a slate
Yeah,
and chalk?
it does.
Oh, but if you got that cellular connection, which we know is.
We're still planning, we're still planning to pull to use.
If we have a few, we'll probably be purchasing a few more tablets.
But the little bit that we did work with you guys on that other stuff has been beneficial. I mean, it keeps us out of Laura's office, being able to pull property lines, at least to figure out if we have right of ways and stuff, so that's been huge to us.
Easements, like when we got record plans of the easements when the subdivision plat was reported, we've got all that information. we can have it within a minute or two out in the field, which is gonna be critical. That'll be great.
And they have helped us out, understanding along with Nick, been more than happy to come on many job sites with us and very beneficial from, you know, paper maps and then not getting that information and having to come up, look, 3 microfeet.
Yeah.
It has definitely got a lot better.
Like where the water main thing is and all that.
Yeah, and basically anything that we have digitized so far. And after we get to that point, we'll start looking downstairs and get what's, we, some reason didn't get reported.
Talking about technology, there's the fleet maintenance program. I've got 3 more computers to change over and deploy at the water garage, but after that's done, the fleet maintenance program will be installed on all the water garage computers and on your guys, so they can start doing their stuff digitally.
Yeah, that would be great. So,
That's coming in the next one.
did that tree trim work out all right for you out here?
Yes, did you ever get a chance to look at the tree over it?
I did. You want me to whack that ginkgo tree up that's behind the pavilion? Is that the one?
It's between the pool and the pavilion. It's like half dead.
Oh, okay. I looked at the wrong one.
Okay. Sorry.
The little flag guy.
Okay, the wastewater treatment plant, organic waste program update. We continue to adjust the equipment and make modifications so that it runs peak performance. We're digging in loads of fog. We're looking to expand that to taking other types of waste. We're working and collecting all the information and getting that all submitted so that we can move forward with the other wastes that are listed in our contract so that we can benefit from a wide selection of material.
I'll be pressure testing in the gas system, replace some of the gas piping.
Yeah.
And holes in it, so I'll be pressure testing that today. Make sure it holds pressure, and then we'll be able to start running those compressors to use the gas in our system. Get that fired up.
Coming soon.
Yeah, this month. Yep.
And we're working to try to get more materials coming.
Yeah, just a broader selection.
Yes. More variety.
I have an opening, still have the opening for the flight mechanic and the truck driver. We had an applicant who we thought wanted to come work for us, but we couldn't pull him away from his current employer. I don't know if he went back and set another offer or we went back and forth and we could not get him to agree to come work for us. So we still have an opening. We're going to be more aggressive again and do some additional advertising. Haven't had any calls or emails. I do have one application that I do want to call back. I don't know if that person wants to work as a mechanic or was applying when we had the opening on the water and sewer maintenance too. Just have to confirm that.
Did you post a new job spec for that it doesn't require the CDL? Only takes, they
Is
can
it
come on
official?
board. They come on board without the CDL and then we have to get it sometimes.
Yeah, did civil service provide any description? Thank you.
I mean, it might be easier to get somebody on because we're
Yeah.
not gonna make them have the CDL lock them in the door. And we can put them through Josh's CDL
We
program.
do that ourselves.
Yeah. We'll do that. Let's see. Water treatment plant, just an update on the upgrade project. The transformer pad construction is going to start on Monday. We've got quite a bit of work to do in-house in support of the project. We're trying to work, providing some overtime opportunities from some of the staff to get that work done. We are one person down now at the water plant, so it's making it a little bit more difficult trying to move some people around on a day-to-day basis to cover that. It's also tough because it is business time of year on the maintenance crew, keeping up with paving and then trying to get our some of the cleaning work that we need to do as well on the sewers. So it's gonna be a little challenging in the next month or so, but we'll keep working on that. The opening, some of the billing modifications that the board approved, it was last month, they've begun. We're building walls aside, and putting poles in, putting new doors to the exterior and the flooring room as well. So the project is moving along nicely. We did have to do the change order last month because some of the electric here is still delayed, and it's looking to Dan, are we looking at like October now?
Yeah, October was when the equipment's gonna be running.
So we had to extend the date of the substantial completion for the project.
It's the supply chain issues still, even post-COVID.
We got very creative as well as buying some things from other locations ahead of time to try to act that, but just some of the big electrical gear is just.
No industry.
Yeah. And then I mentioned we're one person down at the plant, so we're beginning the process to look for either a plant trainee or an operator at the water plant. Advertise for that and we get the postings on the website. Transfer station, recycling center, and Kathy, she worked with the shredding company to confirm October 21st as the shred event date here at Town Hall.
We're gonna do it here at Town Hall.
I think it works better here at Town
Okay.
Hall.
Yeah, fine. Are we gonna get a dumpster for electronics or
I'm
what's
try-
our
I'm-
thoughts on that?
That was the initial thought. I sent an email to confirm that they would be able to do that for us. Once I know that for sure, we'll post the ad for that. But right now, I don't want to say it until we're confirmed.
That'd be something you have to class.
For the shredding,
No, for the electronics,
that would be free.
for you to get the dumpster,
It's our dumpster.
what's your
Yeah,
dumpster?
we leave the
I was
dumpster
gonna
here.
think, because I
Yeah.
know that guy. I was just wondering.
Whatever he's offering, I don't know how much it costs. I mean, in most cases, they come and take it for free. I mean, because they have to.
Yeah.
State laws change. Whether or not how the materials handled in-house, what is required from the water and sewer or engineering departments to coordinate. I know with e-waste, we could just leave it in big boxes out here and they'll come take it, but we just
Okay.
provide a dumpster just to make it confined so that when we're done at the end of the day, we close the door and then when they come by, I'm ready to pick it up.
Yeah, it just, this guy's been calling, me, so I know this.
If he wants to give us some information,
Okay.
That's all I have.
And who's here on the paint recycle event?
Me.
You.
Yeah, so it's July 15th. We're up and running. We got the emails out. We have a lot of signups already. It's combination with Green Sheen out of Rotterdam. And it's going to be at the community center parking lot on Aqueduct. And the only thing is, when it gets closer, like next week, I'll do another blast. I'm gonna try to have them come in Banker. So they'll go down Banker and then they'll go out Aqueduct.
Yep.
And then I'll try to work with Rec One to do a blast for the town pool. To have them come in Aqueduct so that they don't get stuck in that traffic. It shouldn't be that much of an issue. We don't usually get too many people at the town pool before noon. The thing ends at 1,
Right.
but just so that it's not. But I do need volunteers if anybody's looking to do, and I did send out an email yesterday. So
You just need to read that email. Is it restricted on what people can bring the paint recycle or?
yes, and it's on the flyer. It shows the things you can, things you can't. We did the spray paint aerosols. those are not.
The fire's
allowed.
really good.
Yeah, I didn't read the detail of it, honestly, but that's important, right? 'Cause then people-
Yeah, it says like accepted, not accepted, so basically you can kind of see what.
Essentially oils, paints, stains. And then, you know,
That can be,
that can be brought, that she did a great job on fire. It's probably one of the best informative things I've seen. No, really, no, right, I mean, there leaves a lot gray areas of this,
Yeah.
pretty much covers it all, so. That's good.
but you know, people, you didn't say.
Yeah, he's got them listed on both sides, it's on there.
So hopefully, and we're doing it through Eventbrite for the people, it's just gonna be between hours, like 9 and 10, you'll have. It's a virtual ticket, so you'll know when your time slot is,
Oh, that's
and
good.
then 10 to 11, so we're not having such a backup. Of people coming in at the same time. We'll get it anyways, but this way at least there'll be time slots.
All right. Anything else? All right. Motion to adjourn.
Second, next meeting.
Next meeting, August 3rd. 8 AM. Motion, you got a second? All those in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Adjourn.